afternoon, Northwest. Welcome back to this month's edition of Husky Headlines. I'm Addie Pope.
And I'm Salma Salem. While construction has been a common sight around Northwest, there is still more to come. Jaden tells us more about what's next.
The fax room will be receiving a major makeover this summer to expand and renovate the space in the 400 hallway.
So the district had the desire to expand the fax room. This was a need that the district saw because they just renovated all the middle school fax rooms in our district. And so you have students that are using these new expanded kitchens, and then they would come to the high school and find that the kitchen at the high school level, which should be even more technical than the middle school curriculum, was essentially how it was built in 1993 when the building opened.
I'm very excited. From last school year and this school year, it's just like I feel like my room's getting smaller. My biggest class is 29 people, including myself. That is a lot of people, and if you've been in the fax room, you know it's really tight with 24, so 29 is a little much.
To compensate for the space needed for the new fax facility, the ISS room will be relocated to the flex space at the top of the main staircase, leading to mixed opinions about the new location.
There are times when I need an open space and I can't find one. They're all booked. So having one less of them, just because maybe we all need it on the same day, having one less of them really restricts what it is that we're trying to do.
I think it's been really fun for students to put their stamp on the walls of the school. And so it's always sad to see artwork or club recognition or, even school pride disappear. But I'm excited for what is to come for our fac students. And I still think that this is going to be a really great opportunity. And I think students are going to be so excited to see the developments that happen down in the 400 hallway.
I can just speak to that when we were going through this process with the school district and the district architects and the project manager of the fax renovation, they were the ones that identified that space. That was not a space that I had particularly thought of. So part of it they have to consider is the fiscal responsibility, and the cost to relocate the room there is less than in another space that they could have moved it to.
I think it will be able to have so much impact on me and in my students. I feel their confidence growing in here, and so I feel like with the new space, it's just going to make them feel so incredible about themselves and actually feel motivated to cook and maybe get a job. And I'm excited to see how my teaching can change from having the separated sections.
The school will continue to undergo changes in the coming months to improve opportunities for students and staff. This is Jaden Gines for Husky Headlines.
I'm so excited to use the new kitchens next year.
In other exciting news, Mr. Smith recently earned a prestigious award. Scarlett tells us more about his recent honor.
Recently, Blue Valley Northwest's very own Blaze Smith was named the Blue Valley School District's Horizon Award nominee for secondary teachers. As he continues into his second year of teaching, the award recognizes his excellence.
The Horizon Award is a Kansas State Department of Education award that is awarded to a teacher who's in their second year of teaching based on their first year of teaching at the elementary, middle, or high school level. And it recognizes exemplary first-year educators who have just gone above and beyond in terms of how they support students, how they teach lessons, how they interact with their colleagues.
Smith teaches physical science and physics classes at Northwest, but prior to pursuing his interest in education, he worked in a field involving very different tasks.
I was an electrical engineer, and as an engineer I worked on designing power plants, basically. And so, really big projects, Most of the projects that I worked on spanned multiple years, and I worked with really big project teams. And while I was at K-State, I worked in the physics department as a lab TA. And after doing that for a while, I realized that those interactions that I was having with people, I really enjoyed them.
Students and staff agree that Smith is passionate about his teaching and wants the best for his students.
I feel like I've been able to connect with him on a, rather than just a teacher level, I talk to him and have normal conversations with him, and he's just definitely helped me like science a little bit more because I used to not like science that much.
It's a deep care and concern for students and student learning. He is an excellent relationship builder with students, and then I think because students trust him and he's just really real, that they learn from him and are motivated to learn. Because of his career in engineering, he has a really interesting
viewpoint in terms of how he connects the learning of science or physics or physical science to the real world.
Being here, I'm clearly surrounded by a lot of really talented students and a lot of really talented teachers that all have kind of made a really good support kind of netting for me to be here. And so, right, that just also kind of validates like I'm in a really good place to start my teaching career too.
Northwest is glad to have Mr. Smith as he continues to thrive in the classroom. This is Scarlett Chu for Husky Headlines.
It is important to spread kindness and celebrate others.
Now, Kate tells us why Goat Out is such an important tradition to the Northwest community.
From Wild West to Country Club, Northwest Student Section spirit themes differ greatly from week to week, but some have a deeper meaning than others.
Cancer Survivor Awareness for the Team Up for St. Jude.
The Gold Out is near and dear to many students who have dealt with childhood cancer at Northwest.
I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia when I was 5 years old. My cancer was a blood one. Some symptoms were just, I was very pale, very tired, very weak. Like I would just sit at home all day. I couldn't even sit up. I was just very weak and exhausted all the time and just mentally also weak.
So I had brain cancer when I was 2.5. The brain tumor, it was a mixed glioma. There wasn't really any treatment. It was just the big surgery and the seizure medicine to stop the seizures.
Family members are often greatly affected by the diagnoses and the treatments that follow for their loved ones.
When that happy kid started not being as happy all the time and started being low energy and things like that, that was a big alert to us that something must be wrong.
I went through chemotherapy for about 3 years, and so it starts off with you staying in the hospital and getting your port, the machine the chemo runs through.
They're always worried about cancer being sneaky and getting into the brain somehow. So she would get once a month an epidural, like a woman who is going to have a baby, one of those long needles. She would get one of those needles in her spine, and they would put chemo in there just to make sure that nothing was going to hide in there.
On my last visit, that was also a big celebration, and that is when I got the title of cancer-free and a cancer survivor. And so being able to say that I'm a cancer survivor just really changed how those 8 years went. They really made me flip from being sad to being grateful.
You're just so focused on making sure your kid stays alive that just works. And it worked for us, and we were very successful.
Gold Out Week is a special time for the Northwest community. The impact it has on students and staff make it a tradition that will continue for years to come. This is Kate Dawson for Husky Headlines.
Goat Out is such an important tradition to the Northwest community.
Another tradition is the band's halftime show. Julia tells us about how they are living their dreams in this year's new show, Dream Out Loud.
The marching band kicked off the season with more than just new music. They hit the field with a brand new look, one that's been years in the making. Band director Kenneth Tysick says the new uniforms are more than a style upgrade. They represent progress and pride.
So at the beginning of last year, I was approached that Blue Valley Northwest was on the rotation to get new uniforms. And it's very rare that this happens. It's about once every 10 or 11 years that a marching band will get a new uniform. So it was our time, and it was kind of an exciting time.
Senior drum major Mete Burkos says the new look has already changed the way the band feels on the field.
Dude, those new uniforms, they're so powerful. They're so much more in-depth than the last uniforms. They're very deep. I think they look really, really cool. Everyone was so hyped to finally put on the new uniforms. It definitely had an impact on everyone's mood. And of course, if you're in a good mood, you just perform better. You do everything better if you're happy.
But it's not just the uniforms turning heads this season. The band's halftime show brings out a mix of emotion, precision, and a standout solo that's become a highlight of every performance.
I knew pretty early on that there would be a solo in this show, but I thought it would be similar to last year's show in the sense that it'd be one or two measures, not that it'd be a whole movement solo. So that was a shock to me. It is kind of nerve-wracking, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I try not to think about it. I just act like it's a rehearsal, try not to look at the crowd, just keep your eye, try to just focus on the little things, and then the big picture kind of comes together.
For Anson, it's a moment to shine. And for the rest of the band, it's a reminder of the dedication that makes their sound and spirit unforgettable.
I hope that the community just loves us and really supports us and claps along, sings along, and they feel, internal feelings. I hope we tug at their emotions during the show. We cast them in wonder. We scare them with a little nightmare, that kind of thing.
New uniforms, new energy, same Husky pride. This is Julia Haney for Husky Headlines.
A student at Northwest flips the script. Claire tells us about a freshman gymnast.
Northwest is home to many different kinds of athletes. Freshman gymnast Brinley Zimmer balances school with a busy gymnastics schedule.
I've been doing gymnastics for about 11 or 12 years. I started when I was like 3, and then I started competitive when I was like 5.
Gymnastics affects every part of her life. I wish that I could say it didn't, but it absolutely does. I try to tell her it's just maybe 20% of her life, but her and I both know it's a much larger piece of the pie.
For athletes like Zimmer, gymnastics is a big time commitment, especially with this upcoming season.
She, of course, goes to the Friday night football games. I don't want her to ever look back and think I missed out on life for a sport. But when her friends are doing sleepovers after the games, she's coming home because she's got to get to sleep, so she's ready for practice.
Level 10's hard because once you get to level 10, and I still have 4 years of high school, I'm going to do level 10 for the next 4 years. So I'll be competing against girls who have done it for longer than me.
With gymnastics, Zimmer has also gained a large following on social media.
It started back in 2019, and it was all me. That Instagram page actually used to be mine. And then I just kind of started posting tidbits of her. And middle of middle school, I gave her access to the account as well.
Getting access to it, it's like made me realize how helpful it is, because like college coaches will see the Instagram account and like see what I do, which is like good for recruiting and everything.
I'd say she probably hit 10,000 followers maybe around the pandemic when social media was kind of a big thing, and she has right at 80,000 followers.
She doesn't seem to let it go to her head. I did see her at a meet last year we were at, and there were athletes from other places coming up to talk to her at a meet and get pictures with her, and she just did it with a smile and grace. It was nice to watch.
Honestly, to her, the following was I think it was a compliment. I think it validated her somewhat, but she also knows that the general public may not view her gymnastics the same way her coaches or judges or her peers would.
As Zimmer's social media account continues to grow, she hopes to use it as a tool for improvement. This is Claire Blackington for Husky Headlines.
Whether outside of Northwest or within, there are many ways to get involved.
Jack tells us more about a new club.
It's 2:45 a.m. on a Tuesday at Blue Valley Northwest High School, and the bell rings. The cars clear out of the lot. But a dedicated group of girls are rumbling their way through the weight room with a new goal in mind.
G-Lifts is a club where girls can come together to work out, and it's mostly focused on building mental and physical confidence. I kind of was a thought at first, but then I contacted Ava and Miss Bab so we could get it started for the new school year.
Kind of a funny story. I got an email from a student at the beginning of the year and said that she had heard that I might be interested in sponsor. I can't remember the exact story. And she asked me, she's like, "You're a personal trainer, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And she wanted to know where I worked. And so I was telling her a couple of the gyms I'd worked in. And turns out I know her mom because her mom and I worked together at a female gym in Overland Park. So now I get to work with her, kind of doing the same thing, but with students. So it was just kind of a remarkable thing that happened, actually.
She Lifts is designed to create a safe space for girls at Northwest wanting to start or continue their fitness journey.
I felt really isolated or just uncomfortable in the larger weight rooms with like 40 guys and only a few girls. So I thought it was really good to have a group of girls that you could work out with and feel comfortable and have a real community.
You should join She Lifts because it's community-based and also it's a fun place to start lifting.
She Lifts is a very comfortable and safe space, so anyone who wants to join definitely should.
She Lifts meets in the weight room after school every Tuesday. For more information, you can search SheLifts_BVNW on Instagram. This is Jack Howman for Husky Headlines.
Next, we check in on our fall sports teams. We go to Game Day Guidance for an update on the work they've put in so far.
Welcome back to HSN Huskies. I'm Game Day Guidance, and we're excited for another month of Husky sports action. This week, we're wrapping up the fall season for many of our teams, so let's dive right in. Starting off with girls tennis, the team continued their regular season success at the state tournament. Senior Miriam Wambi teamed up with freshman Ella Wang to become state doubles champions. Senior Cami Payne and Paige Pikus finished 11th in doubles, and Madeline Abel finished 11th in singles. The individual success led to the team finishing 4th overall at state. Switching gears from serves to swings, let's take a look at the girls golf team. The girls placed 4th overall at the Keisha 6A sub-state. The following week, senior Caroline Lee had an amazing performance for the Huskies at state, shooting 26 over, which placed her at 20th overall, tying with a player from Manhattan High School. Next, we move to cross country. Following a 4th place finish for the boys at the EKL tournament, they carried their momentum into regionals, finishing 4th overall thanks to junior Jacob De Souza's 1st place finish in the 5,000 meter run with a time of 15:46. De Souza, along with Rowan Jewell and Andrew Kennedy, all qualified for state. The girls finished 6th overall as a team and have a bright future with freshman Olivia Large leading the squad. Moving on to boys soccer. They finished the regular season strong, going 2-1 in their last 3 games, and finished the regular season with a record of 7-8-1. After defeating St. James Academy, they look to continue their hot streak against Wyandotte High School on October 28th as the playoffs got underway. Those results were not available at press time. From goals to touchdowns, we look back at the football team's final regular season game. The Huskies picked up a much-needed win over Blue Valley Southwest, crushing the Timberwolves 33-10. Despite being hammered with injuries to the starters all season, they entered the playoffs with a .500 record at 4-4 and faced off against Olathe South on Halloween. Those results were not available at press time. Next up is girls volleyball, who decimated Spring Hill High School with a sharp 3-0 win on senior night. The Huskies were led by senior Morgan Sears' 9 kills. Despite some players returning from injury, the Huskies took a tough loss against Gardner Edgerton in the opening round of Sub-State. Freshman Jacqueline Elliott led the team with 19 assists. The Huskies finished the regular season with a 10-24 record. Lastly, we take a look at Unified Bowling. The team has rolled off to an impressive start with 2 second-place performances, bowling a 7:06 at Park Lanes and a 6:90 at Olathe Lanes East. The team will be in action again next week. That wraps up today's HSN report. We'll see you in the winter, and remember, stay sporty, Northwest.
In this month's edition of H2 Versus, we go to the archery range with Rylan and Rama.
Welcome back to H2 Versus, where we put the Northwest community up against H2 staff members. This month, our very own Rama Rahima battled it out with freshman archer Lizzie Brenner at the archery range.
Well, I started in Colorado with the 4-H Archery Association. I shot that for 2 years, and then whenever we moved here to Kansas, I've been shooting for 2 years so far. I thought it was cool, and I found it fascinating how it all worked. I thought it would be a challenge for me.
She is such a different archer now than when she started. When she started, she didn't have a lot of confidence. She was just starting out. She had a lot of form issues. Now her confidence is just rocketed up.
It's safe to say that Rahima was in good hands with these 2 competitive archers, even with her minimal experience.
I feel like it went really well. Lizzie was an amazing coach. She was really patient, and she explained everything so well to me, even though I've never done it before.
Rama did awesome. I think that Rama's grouping, so where all of her arrows were on the target, those were really good. And then just the fact that she was able to get every single arrow on the target, that was amazing, especially starting out. I think if she wants to, she can pursue archery.
Though Rahima is new to archery, she hit the bullseye on her first shot, leaving the archers impressed.
That's just something that I haven't seen many people pull off, especially for their first time. So that was really cool.
She did really well. I was surprised. I mean, all the arrows except for one were in the target, which is, for somebody just starting out, that's pretty amazing.
Although Rahima did amazing, there is always room for improvement.
I think that she could definitely improve her form and getting back to anchor point and just finding where she wants it to be at. You want it to be consistent every time, so you're pulling back the same poundage, which is how much power there is in the bow.
I don't think I have a future in archery. Maybe I can do it as like a side quest sometimes when I go out, but I wouldn't do it competitively at all.
Renner and Cowman expressed that anyone can succeed in archery with the right mindset.
I've met people in their 80s who are just starting to learn. So it doesn't really matter what your age is or what your abilities are. You can shoot any style efficiently if you just work hard at it.
She's only going to get better. Yeah, she's just starting out. She's going to get better and better and better. Yeah, she puts in the work. And that's what really matters, is that you put in the time and the effort and work on your form to do it. It's not a sport where you can shoot one day and then wait a month and shoot again and not practice. She puts in the effort, yeah.
Regardless of your age or expertise, you can do anything with a little bit of determination. This is Rylan Jara for Husky Headlines.
Way to hit the bullseye, Rama.
Next, we go to Manjo for another unique sport.
From football to cross country, students find ways to stay engaged while expressing themselves. One student partakes in a more unique activity, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or BJJ, as this martial art is often referred to.
I've been training BJJ for about a year now. What got me into BJJ was from a fighter called Charles Oliveira, so I got inspired by him. He's just like a black belt. I just really do love UFC, so he kind of gave me an inspiration to fight.
Jiu-Jitsu teaches you to step outside of your comfort zone, how to be willing to expose yourself in positions that you may not be as strong in to help grow. So that's something that we've seen Bruno do, and just in general, his personality and overall, I think, his confidence as a person too.
BJJ not only teaches one how to defend themselves, it also teaches other essential life skills.
One of the things that stood out to me most about Bruno is his dedication. He's certainly a student that's here regularly. If you want to get good at a sport like this, or just in general with most disciplines, it's regularity, it's consistency that's going to help you get there, and that's one of the things that we recognized out of Bruno right away.
What I learned about myself with the kids was I'm pretty chill, and I can really have a conversation with everybody, especially kids too. BJJ impact my life outside the mats because I can't protect myself from anybody, and I'm just feeling more free than I used to.
Whether it be in the classrooms at school or mats at a BJJ gym, Northwest students stay engaged in their activities. This is Manjot Singh Lamba for Husky Headlines.
What a cool sport.
Next, Anaya shines a light on a festival celebrated by various cultures.
Typically, sparklers and fireworks displays are associated with the 4th of July. However, for those of the Hindu, Sikh, Jain, and Buddhist faiths, it can mean much more. For this month's edition of Husky Worldwide, we explore Diwali, also known as the Festival of Lights.
So Diwali is a Hindu festival of lights. It is celebrated to the return of Lord Rama and Sita to Ayodhya after like 14 years of exile.
So Diwali means different for many people. For me and my family as I grew up, it means the win of just light over darkness and good and evil. It's the basics, and usually it's just us holidays filled with laughter, joy, brightness, sweets, food, everything.
The celebration of Diwali originally comes from a story from Hindu mythology during a time of celebration. Though this holiday holds religious significance, it also brings families close in celebration.
Lord Ram, when he is exiled for 14 years from his home, and after 14 years he killed the demon Ravana and is back to his hometown Ayodhya. So on this auspicious day, it was a no moon day, so it's darkness. So the people of Ayodhya littered the diyas, which are lights, with oil to glow up the city to welcome Lord Rama into the kingdom. We perform the puja, and then we exchange sweets, and then we have dinner together, and then lit the fireworks to end the day.
One of my favorite things is we usually celebrating really grand. Usually when we're together, if our family's all together, we go crazy, go big or go home.
Celebrating festivals like Diwali allow people to connect with their culture and learn about their heritage.
I do want to learn, and I wish there were like people who can like teach the significance of the holiday. I feel like after I know like the importance, like I wish to teach my future generation people and learn and celebrate more about it.
It brings back all the memories I had from my childhood when I was younger, celebrated with my cousins and everything. I lived in India half my life, and over there people tend to go big. I guess we were one of those families. Loads of fireworks right in front of our house, lit up the whole neighborhood, street, and everything.
Those who celebrate Diwali encourage others to learn more about it and join in any festivities.
Diwali is not just a holiday of bring light over darkness and good over evil, but also something where everybody comes together and celebrates, no matter the religion. It's really fun, and I would love for everybody to experience it one day or another.
Celebrating Diwali can bring the opportunity to have fun and appreciate goodness. This is Anaya Zaman for Husky Headlines.
Prom was awesome, but not the prom you're thinking of. I went backstage of the theater department's most recent performance.
Northwest Theater Department puts on multiple productions each year that vary greatly in style. The new challenge they are tackling this year in the repertory theater class is improvisation.
This show is unique because I feel like it's just so tech-based. Like more so than your other shows. It's just challenging because we've never really done a play fully dependent on sound. In the script, it has improv prompts. On top of that, Hatton wrote out a kind of a script of like, this is what's happening with this song. Half the show, I would say, is scripted. The other half is improv. And basically to help the actors get the timing right with improv, we basically have it line up with the sound. This time, we have the actors actually interacting with the audience as their character and going out into the audience like a little bit different, because I would say this play is more immersive.
No matter what role the students choose to take on in this show, they face challenges that teach them new skills and encourage growth.
I've faced a couple challenges, especially in my character, because I'm the president of the debate club and I really just want to be prom king, and that's not really me, so it's kind of pushed me to really get into my character.
Sometimes people speed up when we're in a play and about how fast things go, so I'm a little nervous that we'll get through stuff and I'll have my cues prepared and then they won't match up.
Some challenges that we've already faced is that the script likes to make sexual jokes, and I think some of our cast members are having a hard time with that and just get a little bit uncomfortable. But they're starting to really get used to it and lean into their characters more, but I could see them tightening up under an audience.
Despite the challenges they've faced, cast and crew are developing life skills.
A skill that I've learned, especially in this show, is thinking quick off my feet, because the show incorporates a lot of improv, because half of the scenes are actually free form.
A lot of problem solving and a lot of adapting to things just being thrown at you, because sometimes what's written in the script doesn't work, having to figure out what works and what doesn't. It's also technology skills. I'm learning new tech I haven't done before. You learn to lead a group of people and you create this team dynamic. We're all doing this together. We're all working together. Initially going into production, I was very this needs to be done this. But it's kind of helped me realize we're all human. Everybody's got extenuating circumstances. Everybody's got something happening. So you need to make sure that you're aware of that something happening.
Those involved in the awesome 80s prom rocked the stage last week, and the actors look forward to their next performance of Grace in January. This is Salma Salem for Husky Headlines.
That's it for this month's edition of Husky Headlines.
Have a great day, Northwest!